Call tonight to calling this meeting to order 6 p.m. Wednesday, February 18th, 2026 at 6 p.m. hybrid meeting. Joint budget presentations. Tonight we're going to hear from a vast array of people, including myself and DPW, a couple other agencies. As far as selectmen's present, we have myself, First Selectman Nick Donahue, Selectman Jeffrey Bolte in the Zoom, William Steglitz, our recording secretary, and Rob, you want to do a roll call for your side of the room?
Yeah, for Board of Finance, myself, Rob Worge, Steve, Ken, and Brian are here. Nikki may be joining us later, and Dave will not be joining us this evening.
All right. Move on to citizen comments. Citizen comments in the room? No citizen comments in the room. Citizen comments in Zoom. You can either tap it, unmute or type into the chat. Hopefully everybody can hear me. I think they can. All righty. No citizen comments, it seems to be. All right, on to budget presentations. All right, first off, line A, Board of Selectmen. I'm going to be presenting on that tonight. We have a page number.
Page number 10.
All right, Board of Selectmen, from 26 to 27 proposed, we have a change from 22,647 to 23,263. You're going to notice salaries have 3% increase on those. Everything else more or less stayed the same except for town dues and memberships. Any questions on that? Showing no questions, we'll move on to the next agenda item.
Page 11.
Line B, First Selectman. All right, couple little things here. You're going to see a change from 158,443 to 176,647. Couple of things went up there. Now you're going to see a slight of a number change on line 1. Actually, it's line 2. It is my belief here that that number has not changed in many, many years. I think is my goal for a 5 or an 8 year plan to professionalize the role of First Selectman. I know we've talked about it for many years as far as a town administrator or town manager. I really do think that we need to really start working to that role. We all know that we're never going to get to that role by going from 60 to 140 on the low end, but I think if we chip away at that systematically, we can do that. Now, is 85 the number this year? I don't know if 85 is the number this year. I think that's up for discussion. But after doing a bit of an audit of all of our department heads and administrative assistants, the First Selectman's role was the lowest paid as far as department heads, and one of the lowest paid for administrative assistants. So that being said, that's the reason for the increase. I know that in years past that I think the expectation maybe of the First Selectman was that it was a very part-time role, but as we come into 2026 and years forward, this on average has been probably about a 50-hour-a-week role, with some weeks being 40 and some weeks being 60. Just trying to keep in line with present day salaries that are realistic with expectations and delivery of services there. As far as any other numbers there goes, professional tech services went up a tiny bit. Everything else stayed fairly flat. Now, I assume the room will have some questions on that, and I will take those questions at this time.
Thank you, Nick, for describing that and giving us the context and background. I just had a question on the HR director.
Yes.
That was a shared role. That's no longer, it wasn't a 50-50 split, if I recall. But why would that not be at 0?
So that's a great question, because now we have 2 employees who have taken on at least 30% of their workload. I can speak for my administrative assistant, Marie, whose job has, I don't want to say double, but I think and Marie can contest to this, there's a significant amount of increased tasks that she is having to go above and beyond do. In years past, being last year and this year, that was a split where Marie, I believe, received $10,000 on top of her normal salary to take on that role. Also, Paula, I believe, received 5,000 for her increased duties. So I think given the amount of increased duties, and I will say Marie has dramatically stepped up to the plate from what I can see just in the last 4 months alone in my time here, and the amount of extra work that she's had to put in on benefits, onboarding new employees, job postings, grievances, employee handbook, the list is kind of never ending. And I will say that it hasn't doubled her role here, her workload, but I would say it's increased it at least by 40 to 50%.
Yeah, I have zero, concern with that. The work did not just evaporate because the person.
Yes, very much so.
I understand that.
Yeah, yeah.
So thank you for describing it, because I wasn't sure where it was going. We were also working toward, this role, whether it be split between Paul and Marie or go back to the way it was, to help drive down the need for the level of, town council that we were leaning on.
Very much so.
And that's gotta be something I think we need to continue to be close with, because the earlier you can get out in front of these problems, the smaller the problems are, the less they grow. Then
Absolutely.
you don't need to spend big dollars.
And I think there's definitely a need for an HR generalist here in Thompson between the school and general town of Thompson. HR generalist is easily 100K plus salary. Right now, I think we're getting a bargain for what we're getting. But just my 2 cents. Does anybody else have any further questions?
Yeah, so why don't we just combine her, Marie, with the work she's doing, putting it in her salary? Instead of kind of not really being transparent in that she's doing the work, when there's no question she's doing the work. But why are we reflecting in her job description that she's taken on this and just put it in her salary?
Good question.
I think we're kind of hiding that a little bit from the community, but we've had other instances like that. I just assume put it in Paula's and her salary and reflect what they're doing. That have an HR line item for 17,000. Not questioning what the.
No, I'm with you, Brian.
Way he does, but we're paying her, put it in her salary. To give her 3% and then say, oh, and by the way, she's part-time HR director. Well, let's put in her job description and increase her salary accordingly.
I think that's definitely reasonable, and I would fully support that. I think the thought to explain it away is that I think we thought this was going to be a temporary solution that was unicorns and butterflies, and like anything, we'd put a Band-Aid on it and it would get better. But I will say that, Marie, and I'm not just saying this because you're here, you've stepped up to the plate and excelled in this role. So I would have to agree with the rest of the room where I think definitely rewriting your job description and putting that in.
It's more justified giving the money when it's in her job description that she's taking over human resource work, and same with Paula, that way you can justify an increase in the salaries. Because this unicorn, as you say, is not gonna go away.
No, it isn't.
So just might as well pay her accordingly.
Totally agree, Brian.
Unless there's enough possibility of hiring an HR person.
And that's what was the thought, I think, originally, is that we were probably going to, after we laid off our part-time generalist, that we would then hire it back once things got better. But I to sit in this room and say things have gotten dramatically better, I think we'd all be lying to each
I
other.
also feel that it's a good question. Steve, my input here would be, 17.
Yeah, not even close.
No, I understand, but this was at a higher level and we wanted to keep it for that reason, but we're almost starting from ground zero.
Yeah, so I guess my proposal to the group is that what we can do is, if you guys are open to it, Marie and I can rewrite that and rework that, and we can take that off of this line, and we can rewrite the only thing. The only thing about Paula is a union employee, a contracted employee, which that would
Contracted or union?
union.
Well, he's union, but you're saying you're paying her extra anyways?
He said contract.
Well, to rewrite her contract, her union contract, that would obviously.
If I remember right, we did it. I think there's an MOU on file
Mhm.
and it was
I was
treated
gonna
as
say,
a
you gotta have
step.
some kind of file, you're paying her 5,000 over what
Right.
the union is, so there's no difference again. You have to.
There's something I think on both positions, right, Marie? That's how it was handled?
Yes, there's two memorandum stipend position.
So if you guys are okay with it, Marie and I can get on that this week or next week and rewrite that. And maybe when it comes time to actually propose this back to you, Board of Finance, we can work all those numbers and move
Yeah,
around.
I think so. I mean, we've done a lot of work over the years to get the account descriptions lined up because we're not all gonna be here forever and the continuity gets lost. So,
Right. Some of
all
those
things, but
roads,
they-
Okay, I think that's very fair. And go ahead, Marie. Yeah.
I have just one note to make, and so, on that line 3, personnel, administration executive assistant. When we hired HR, that position name was not changed back to executive assistant. So you might say, well, wait a minute, you're already doing personnel, but that's not accurate. I am just right now the executive assistant to the selectman.
Okay, so if we leave it, it'll be correct.
Yes,
Right.
right, but I just don't want people to think that I'm already doing it. I haven't been.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a carryover from before we started.
We switched to
All right.
an HR director.
Perfect.
Thanks for clarifying.
Does anyone have any other questions?
Very minor points, office supplies, I would kind of expect to go up, you actually gonna lower it? That's wonderful.
Yeah, we were. I think that was copier and printer, didn't we? Wasn't that on that budget? Because I know we lowered that.
$500 this year.
Copy printers in town hall, what has gone down?
Office supplies.
Yes, I found that we weren't using it.
I'm sorry.
I found that we weren't using it because many of the supplies were town hall based as opposed to first selectman's office based. So spending pattern, I felt like it was gonna go down. I know it was higher, previously. Or the 26 projected, the reason that that's so high is that we ordered an office chair, which was about $350.
Yeah, I think so.
For
Yeah.
the first selectman. So that number would not have been that high without that. I really do believe.
So you got an empty chair and an increase.
Wow. Yet both to be determined.
So far.
I went from having no chair to a chair, and I will say we definitely went budget on the chair. So, anyway, any further questions on that line? None. All right, let's move on to the next one. Line C. That's going to be data processing.
Page 12.
Marie's going to propose
And
that.
I believe Heather is probably on as well. Yep, I see Heather.
Yep, I'm here if there's any questions.
Hi, Heather.
All right, so data processing supplies, staying flat, that's basically all of the paper, finance forms, the toner for everybody's printers. Hardware, we did add that we were doing 1 laptop a year, so that's in there as well.
Marie, if I could. You'll notice there's a yellow cell up on the screen. That number differs from your book. This is the adjustment we made the other day, Marie.
Oh,
So the adjustment was made after your book was printed. So the professional services line is actually 3,338.
That would be line
That's
4.
proposed line 4.
Yep, in the proposed budget,
So we're going.
How much?
3,338.
and the reason that that dropped so significantly is that we had pulled the 48 port switch out last year and are not putting it back in. And Heather, you had an explanation for that, correct?
Yes, so Travis recommended going with 3 smaller switches, which are significantly less in cost and will do the job that we need. So we were able to get some savings there.
Drop bill like it is that, but
Yeah, still was the bottom line.
Yeah, it's about $7,000.
you read the exact number of that sheet and then you on the 6th line.
Oh, I'm sorry. You need to know the 7452.
7452 negative. Is positive.
Right.
We're on our way.
So you
Yeah.
got the bottom line?
Yeah, the new bottom line, 126,455
26,455.
for the total department.
And the bottom line change.
6.72% down.
Alrighty, professional services, that's due to increases in services for Munis, which is the accounting software, Vision, general code, school IT. They have now added the library in, as that they are supporting, which is terrific. An action blueprint is actually no longer part of this. Website maintenance, that's for Civic Plus, and cloud hosting is now being done by Heather. The cloud hosting?
Yes, that's through Network Solutions, and I think that was about 300 a year instead of HostGator.
Yeah. I didn't have it written down.
Mhm.
Alrighty, software, that's for Office 365, Adobe Pro, and Microsoft Server licenses. That has gone down slightly. And the server update has also gone down. We have, Heather, we put in $1,000 to cover what we think may come up as opposed to what had to be paid last year.
Why has that gone down so?
The server upgrade was a one-time cost, and that is now complete. So the $1,000 is just in case we need to contract any help or support above and beyond our knowledge through Apex Technology Group.
What was the increase on the police maintenance? What was the driver now, 4,900? I missed whatever you had said.
Oh, the pricing went up for some of that. Where just annual price increases for some of those things, and school IT is, we pay for that, and they've added the library as a place that they'll support in addition to town hall.
You see a reduction in the library? That's a question for you.
Pardon me?
Was the library paying somebody else for that?
I don't know the answer to that. Do you know, Heather?
So they also have a contract with Bibliomation that monitors and manages some of their network equipment, but we helped them out with their desktop workstations. We upgraded all of them to Windows 11 over the summer. Travis was down there helping them with that.
Another opportunity there. Get maintenance and software contracts and agreements across the whole town.
Yeah, Travis and I have been speaking about that.
So it's gonna be a multi-year project, you're not gonna wait a long to get that done overnight.
No. Yeah, a lot of those conversations we didn't have. Appreciate it. Alrighty. Do we have any further questions on that one? No? Okay. Next one we want to town council. Marie, do you want to?
Town hall building?
Oh,
Oh, no, town council, that's you. I don't have town council.
Yep.
It's you and Bill.
So, town council, from FY 26 to FY proposed 27, we have 36,000 to 54,000. You'll see, that, we tried to kick this up in 26, we're doing the same in 27. For the basic reason of, legal notices, multiple referendums, we're really, although that, I think people think they're saving money by voting budgets lower. It's causing incurring costs on other ends, so there's a direct cause and effect there. We're also utilizing our attorney more for labor relations stuff, due to some other lack of other things, so that is, the proposal there. Does anyone have any questions on that?
General counsel is gonna go up by 10?
Yeah. Yes.
We're not in a contract year or anything?
We're not in a contract, no. They're not raising our rates or anything like that. I think,
You have legal as well.
And labor.
Yeah, you got labor.
so 10,000 to general, 5,000 to labor, 1,500 in legal zoning. Obviously, we're doing a lot more zoning work, and with our projects coming too, we've had to utilize the attorney a lot more, given all the building we've had. You've heard from the building office, the fire marshal's office, pretty much everything. So as services go up, I think our need for legal services has definitely increased.
Bill, where are we right now on legal services?
Yeah, if we look at the projection
general
column, we're,
Projection to 32.
right, that's why the increase to 30. In labor, hopefully what we saw a number of labor personnel related issues this past year. Hopefully that won't continue, going forward, but generally that's been trending up. If you look at FY 25 actual, it was at 9,000. And we had a budget of 5 this year, so it seemed prudent to bring that up to 10. And unfortunately, with the labor related stuff, the absence of the HR person probably contribute. I know at the school it definitely does, because Michelle would write a lot of personnel related letters that end up getting kicked to the attorney. Now, in her absence, I don't know if we've seen a similar activity like that this year.
Currently dealing with that as we speak.
This is the town share of these costs. This is not divided pro rata or.
Town attorneys. Yep. Different attorneys for both.
Yeah, that's. Well, like you said, you're going to go down and your spending is coming in. Is that reasonable?
Say that?
Says you're going to spend less next year than you did this year. Is that reasonable?
At least
I mean,
with,
that's better, don't get me wrong, but I just want to be sure we're budgeting appropriately.
with labor, there was a little bit more activity than at least I've seen historically last year. So when we cast the budget, we hoped maybe a return towards historical levels. Unfortunately, personnel matters can pop up at any time.
Any other questions? No, okay. All right, guess we'll move on to E, Town Hall Building.
Page 21.
And we have the 3% increase in wages for the maintainer. We're dropping travel down. We just haven't needed it, but we figure we should have a placeholder, particularly right now. The town car is in repair and has been for a few weeks, so there is a possibility that some of that will be used, and we'd like to keep it there for the future. Cleaning services, carpet cleaning, floor waxing, and power washing the building. Let's see, telephone. Telephones are just going up slightly. Frontier Fire Alarm has actually, the Frontier Fire Alarm is the one that's gone up. The phones have remained the same. Let's see, internet charges. I don't know if anybody has questions. Postage. We've dropped that slightly because the July tax bills are going to be done by another company. And it may go down further. We'll see within the next few weeks if I can estimate where it might actually fall and possibly reduce that number. That's my hope. Electricity, not much we can do about that. The service contracts. Oh, I skipped something. Fuel, heating. They got $2.53 per gallon lock-in rate, and it's about 5,200 gallons. So that's where that number comes from. Alarms, elevator, fire safety equipment. That has gone up. Venture has increased their prices. And for the fire safety equipment, each year that price can vary based on what it is they have to do with the fire extinguishers. Sometimes they're just testing, but sometimes they have to replace parts. And
service contract you're talking about?
Yes, service contracts. Yeah. So that's the fire safety equipment piece. So
also have a life on them too.
Yeah.
You can only repair them so many years. Who does the what did you say it was Venture?
no, Venture is the alarm monitoring. The
how much does that go up?
I apologize, I didn't break that out. Let's see if I have it.
It says 5,729 for Venture. Well, it looks like it's a combination of a few things. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't have last year's numbers for that.
I don't know what they used to be.
Repairs, building maintenance, we dropped that price down, this year's current budget. We had money in there for ADA signage for the building, which we were required to put up. That purchase has been made, so we dropped that money out of the building repairs and maintenance.
You'll want to adjust that number in your books. Marie found a $700 decrease since we did the books. So that should be 15,500 instead of 16,200.
15,500?
Yep. Which put you down 700 in that line.
Minus 7.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's the total.
Yeah, we'll have another change, so I'll get it to you at the end.
All right, where are we?
Sorry, Maria, you said you did some things this year that you're not gonna do next year, is that what you, is that? what's
Yes,
behind that?
we had to put up ADA signage in the building, American with Disabilities Act, and one time, yep. So we pulled that out.
But you're still going up quite a bit over, you're going up 10% or more over last year, over the current year.
No, we're down $700 in that line.
He's looking at projected.
You're gonna spend
Oh,
14%.
projected. Projected, apologies.
We're seeing almost a 2,000 increase in electricity costs alone, which is fixed. You know, we can't really argue that much.
Well, we could argue a lot.
Fair.
Don't think that's gonna wash with us.
No.
I'm sorry, the buildings and repair and maintenance, we're going up from
Right,
year to
Joe?
year, despite the fact that we've gotten some things behind us.
I'd have to look at the projection and see, that may need to be refreshed at this point. It's.
Well, 26 approved was 16.2. 27 requested is 15.5.
Right.
But the 26 projected is 14,172.
Gotcha.
You're going up. from
Okay.
Spending this year
Okay,
quite a bit.
all right, I'll look at that too.
That's my bugaboo. I look at them as projected.
Yeah, thank you. Exterminating has gone up in a minor way. Copier postage rental is only going up slightly.
That number needs to change to $7,054.
Oh, that's what I have.
What's that postage? 7,000 what?
Copier 7054, which puts us up $185.
Right.
What was the number you had in there, Bill?
The other direction.
7,003. We adjust.
Oh, okay, yep.
7,054.
Mhm.
Line 21. Yes.
51.
No.
That's 51 more.
Yeah, so 185.
6869.
The 134 was the 185.
Right,
Going
correct.
going the other direction.
Yeah, you subtract. Oh, went up. No.
Went
703.
Went up.
7,180 to 7,054, so the cost is higher.
Right.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm thinking savings. I'm going backwards.
Guidance. The double negative. Okay.
Sorry.
Sewer water, Bill, that was your number.
Yep.
Office supplies, we are leaving the same, and the same with custodial. Are there any questions?
All right, what was the question? You said you approved for 25 is 500. Rejected 327. Approved for 26, 4, all right, so 4, okay, I'm just going across, still the same. All right, I look at it, I saw it 500. My bad,
Okay,
thank you.
Question, but can we look at the alarm, contract, what was that? Not picking on the alarm company, but there's close to zero cost,
For monitoring.
I don't know, I'd like to know what's going up, what's driving.
well, for Venture, the fire alarm, they do the, security alarm monitoring, fire testing, and we do get a software upgrade.
So
That's-
they're putting
that's some of what-
software in, or they're putting hardware cost to that, if it's just a monitoring,
Mm-hmm.
it's typically a pretty flat line. I'm saying typically, I
Yep.
just like, I think it's worth looking at.
Yes. Yep.
Magnitude of it,
Mm-hmm.
$1,000 a year is $5,000 a year.
Fair. All right, any other further questions on town hall building? Showing no further questions, let's move on to section F, celebrations.
Celebrations, that's a
It's the
quick
most
one.
exciting one of them.
Page 40. Joe's, get the Joe's.
That's a celebration in itself.
So that is remaining the same. That's what's been requested. And this year, the American Legion is doing Memorial Day. The VFW does Veterans, and on Memorial Day, they alternate. So one year, yes, they alternate who does Memorial Day. So next year it'll be VFW doing Memorial Day, but the price remains the same no matter who's doing it.
So these are funds that we provide to them.
Yes, yeah. The Memorial Day parade is a little over 2,000 and Veterans is 600. Any questions on that?
Showing no questions, on to the next one. Community kitchens.
Out in the hall.
Page 35.
I didn't see who came in.
Is that you, sir? All right, step on up. Welcome.
I'm John Tierney. I'm the treasurer of Community Kitchen of Northeastern Connecticut. Our board president, Bob Kirk, was invited, but he had a prior obligation in New Hampshire, so he's up there right now, shoveling snow. I'm just gonna do like a brief overview of what we are, I guess. I wasn't exactly sure what I was here to do, but we're a 501c3 that was incorporated in 1983. We have, typically we try to have 5 meal sites, one for each day of the week. Woodstock on Monday, Central Village on Thursday. Central Village, the church that we were using, closed and was sold, so we lost that site as of August 1st. But we are looking to start again in Canterbury on Tuesdays, not Thursdays. So that should start up hopefully next month. Danielson on Wednesday, Thompson on Thursday at the Creation Church in the West Thompson Dam. They do, right now we're doing second and fourth Thursdays rather than every week, but they're trying to get enough volunteers to fill in the other two days. And Moose Up on Friday. All of our volunteers, all of our officers and directors, site coordinators, cooks, and kitchen help are volunteers. We're a totally volunteer organization, except for our part-time paid food procurer, and she is responsible for going down to Big Y in Plainfield and Danielson, picking up donations every day. She orders food from Connecticut Food Share. She stores all the food at our site in Killingly, at our storage facility in Killingly, which is provided by the town, and delivers it to the 5 sites. So that's a part-time job that is pretty critical. In 2025, we served a little over 25,000 meals. If we had had Central Village for the whole year, it would have been closer to 28,000. And our annual expenses are $65,000. We have income sources, we get donations from churches, from foundations, local service organizations, banks and local businesses. We have fundraisers occasionally. The Crop Walk in Thompson at Fort Hill Farm donates money every year, and Woodstock Marathon donates money to us. We also get a lot of donations from individuals, and we have a 300 club where people donate $25 a week, or $25 a month, to total $300 a year. And we occasionally are able to procure grants. In addition to that, we get about 15% of our funding from local towns that we serve. So typically we've requested the towns consider funding us at $1,500 a year, and Thompson has been good at that every year. Again, that's about 15% of our income sources. And I already mentioned where we get food donations from Food Share, Big Y, Stop and Shop, and Price Chopper in Putnam, and Soleil and Sons in Woodstock.
Nice.
So that's who we are.
Awesome. Thank you for the work you do. Any questions?
Thank you.
0. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you for your consideration.
Yes, always.
I'm not required to stay, right?
No. Unless you're looking for some excitement. You too. All right, on to the next one. Line H. Sexual assault crisis.
Same page.
What page was that, please?
35?
We did announce that earlier.
I don't know if we have this person on Zoom.
Mr. Lynch? You have,
I don't believe so.
All right, let's move on.
Yeah, I think so. Do we have a quick breakdown of that, what they're actually asking for? I think I have a letter. Let me look. Stand by. Kitchen.
$100. They're asking for
We're
$100.
asking for $100.
Yep.
Okay, move on, move
No
on.
questions.
Okay, $100, no questions.
No.
All right, on to the next one. Last Green Valley.
Page 35.
Carly DeLuca is
Thank you.
I'm here with you all. How are you doing tonight?
great. How are you? Welcome.
Good. Thank you. It's great to see you all. I wanted to say too, you just heard from Community Kitchens. They're actually at the church right next to our site. So we have definitely donated to them and enjoy a relationship with them as well. But tonight we're asking for $500 as a municipal donation. This is able to continue the work that we are able to do normally in Thompson. Last year, we went to a couple of different community events in your town. We did the Natchog Epic. We went to Touch a Truck. We went to the Parents Resource Fair at Teague. We did Community Day. And looking at 2026, we already have an August talk scheduled with your library. So we're able to offer these things to the public for free and get people outside and more comfortable with their surroundings based on these donations. Although looking at a giant budget, $500 looks pretty minimal, but all those pieces come together to make what we do impactful. And that's really what we're here to do. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. If anybody would like more information about what the Last Green Valley is, happy to give some background too. But yeah, we're always happy to work with the town of Thompson and continuing that relationship.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions for this nice lady?
No.
No? No questions. All
Good to
right.
see you.
All right, Carly, thank you for your time. You're off the
Have a
hook.
great night, everybody. Thank you.
You too. All right, next, line J, Quinnebog Valley Senior Center. Miss Sophie Chiron.
Still page 35.
I think I have a letter
Thank you
there.
for this.
They're looking for two.
I'm
There
not
you go.
sure if I'm on. Am I
You're
on?
on.
Okay, good. I'm not, you're not showing me, but that's not a problem for me if it's not a problem for you.
We can see you
Um,
on our main screen.
okay, you can. All right. I dashed from another meeting and I was hoping I didn't miss out here. Yes, I'm the director here at Quinnebog Valley Senior Center. We do serve the 10-town area, including your town. And I do understand that you do have Teague there is handling some of your programs from Thompson and Pomfret, which are both towns that we serve, and your residents do avail themselves of our services. We have 3 full-time Medicare certified counselors. We counsel all year round with a particular, we get hit hard during open enrollment, of course. That's the time to review everything. We also, with our services here, we do a lot of Department of Social Services. I act as the municipal agent for Brooklyn to the elderly. So we do outreach in the community if there's a senior that maybe there's concerns where the Meals on Wheels that come out of our facility here, they will let us know that maybe there's a senior that needs something. So I go out to the home and I visit. We do a lot of activities, but we also have serious sides with, we do fall protection programs. It's Heart Month, so I'm doing a program on heart health this month for our seniors. We provide farmers market coupons, and many of them come from your area because I know in the past, I believe 2 years, Teague has not really been doing them. So they've been coming here. And we're happy to help the seniors. It gives them a little extra with their, uh, uh, nutrition, that type of thing. We do rely on donations because, again, we're a 501(c)(3) as well. We have a 10-town area that we hope the towns will support us because many of the residents do come to us for particularly Medicare or any DSS problems, that sort of thing. So we do rely on our donations. We also do fundraisers. We have what we call our Grandma's Attic that raises funds in the center from donations that we receive for household goods, things like that. Then we have individuals that, give us donations. We do some fundraisers, and that sort of thing. So, yeah, that's where we're at. So, just a little background, and I guess I will say thank you for considering us. We certainly appreciate whatever the towns are willing to provide to us. It helps us do the important work that we do here.
Thank you so much for the work that you do.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right, anybody have any questions? The amount in question is 250 on the letter that I have. Sophie, is that what you can confirm too?
Yes.
Okay. Questions? All right. Sophie, have a wonderful evening. Thank you for presenting tonight.
Thank you very much for listening. We appreciate it.
Thanks.
Bye now.
Bye. All righty. Next, we're going to go item K, Day Kimball Healthcare at Home. Jen, I see that you're on Zoom.
Hi there. Good evening. Thank you for inviting me to your meeting again this year. I really appreciate it. So as you know, we provide home health services and hospice services all throughout the Quiet Corner. And each year I do appeal to each of the towns for a little bit of funding to help support those patients who do not either have insurance or who have exceptional needs. Their insurance maybe doesn't cover certain parts of their care. For example, Medicaid beneficiaries, they do not have social work covered under their home health benefit. So quite often in the town of Thompson and in our area, we use a lot of those funds for social work services, which are desperately needed for the population, especially right now. There's so much going on in our communities, people going without healthcare, going without support services, and that social worker really helps link them to programs like Teague or senior centers or even applying for Medicaid if they're someone who's falling between the cracks. So last year we provided 38 free visits in the town of Thompson, which came out to about a $3,200 equivalent value. And it's, we're just looking to have a little bit of some support from you. We're doing all we can for our community, but every little thing that we can gain from each of the towns is very, very helpful for our team and our communities. We also do work in some of the community. We do a lot of community outreach. Last year, we did attend the Thompson Senior Fair, and we did have a falls prevention clinic. We do have some other fall prevention clinics coming up as well. Those are really important for our seniors because falls are one of the leading causes of mortality among our senior population. So we really want to prevent those if we can, and they give them really practical methods on ways to reduce their fall risks. Um, and that's it. We're just really looking for any support we can get to help our community be stronger and healthier and hopefully avoid emergency rooms and long-term care.
Awesome. Any questions?
One quick question. You mentioned, Jen, 38 visits, the chart shows like 4,000. Were the 38 just specific visits?
Yeah, so the visits are from various disciplines, typically social work, or nursing or therapy visits. So they could be visits that are necessary for the well-being of the patient, but insurance didn't cover it for some reason. Or maybe they didn't have insurance. We do accept patients on service who do not have insurance, and we link them to um, various programs. The 4,000 that you're seeing, though, that's in the 38 visits is included in that 4,000. So overall in the town of Thompson last year, we provided 4,081 visits combined with all disciplines.
Yeah, thank you, Jen.
Yeah.
Jen, quick question. Are you going to see any operational changes or anything from the upcoming merger?
Eventually, I believe we will, and I'm actually very excited about it.
Yeah,
You know, I think it'll be a wonderful thing for our community, and I know all of us at Day Kimball, whether it's the medical group or the hospital or home health and hospice, we are just really excited to have that support for our community. We all work so hard, and you know, there's when we see comments on social media and stuff like that, we all try not to take it very personally because I know how hard each and every one of us are working to
Yeah.
keep our doors open and support our community. We have a long
Awesome.
history, and I think, you know, we've been here 131 years and we'll be here 131 more.
Hopefully. All right. Well, thank you for your presentation tonight and have a wonderful evening.
You too.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye. All righty. Moving on. Lionel. Bill, I think this is
Page 23.
your shining star moment.
Going back to fire departments to cover the lines that were not discussed when the chiefs were here. Just a moment. So have a new number for line 7. Chuck Kelleher at QB Dispatch came back with the exact number, minor change. But line 7 should be 36,842. Previous number was an estimate.
Close.
So that's their actual. That's just their rate increase. Hydrants, the 102,441 is directly from CT Water. Grants, well, we don't have to talk about that one. Ambulance service up $49,000. The estimate is based on the EMS contract. Less than 35,000 for the 2 ambulances, plus the expected increase. And $18,000 in rent to Thompson Hill. That's unchanged. The $18,000 is unchanged from last year. Immunizations and physicals unchanged. We saw a decrease in volunteer fire insurance. That's based on actual spend. So the 10% increase that's expected, I applied that to our actual spend for 2026 rather than the prior budget. So that resulted in a savings. OSHA testing is stable. Let me see, the only other major increases here are the paramedic ambulance. And that's based on the NECOG schedule that it was Jim, right, shared with us
Yes.
when he was here. I think that covers the lines that weren't discussed by the chiefs.
What was special contributions?
That's the emergency reporting software, and that number comes from Jamie
Okay.
Snee.
The only thing I had, Bill, is we asked, Putnam EMS to join us tomorrow night. Okay, so Ed Higgins is gonna come and share, how we develop the budget. I'm saying we, because I still sit on that board and help them. How we develop the budget, where the line items are, how things are going. I shared the financials at the end of the year, and we'll do another one at the end of Q1. I'm not gonna do it every month. We're gonna kind of see, monitor their performance. We'll be here tomorrow at 6:30.
Exciting. All right, any other questions? None, all right, the final presenter of the night, M through R. Our DPW director, Mr. Showcase.
Page 27.
Thank you.
I know you've all been kind of quiet, so you can yell, saving your voices.
This is the most exciting part of the meeting.
Yeah, I'm excited. We start off at 3201, which is the town garage. Fire alarm monitoring, a monthly is $244, which in turn you asked about venture, and I'll have Kelly get that information, so, because it's basically the same contract, same company, if you want to review that. Our landline is Frontier, which that's what the alarm system goes by. For the telephone. Electricity, it was 10%, 6 or 10% increase, no control. Our heating, which we used, everything is flat right down here. 266.
Haven't shown any increase for.
Because we moved off of actual. We looked at actual on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's flat across the board.
Flat across the board on there.
So if it's flat across the board, you don't have to take time.
No.
Okay.
Efficiency,
Good stuff.
efficiency is our number one goal here. On to the next one, public works, slide next.
Page 28.
Pretty small rating too, by the way.
Yes. All the payroll is contractual all the way down, 3% per contract. So then we go down to professional and technical services, which went up $100 for training, different things like bucket truck, chainsaw, anything OSHA that pops up on the computer, and we can find time to get it in for safety reasons. Price increase on the internet for service contracts. And also that does the contracts for the beaver deceivers and fuel contracts and so on and so forth on that.
Joe, you're bouncing around a little bit. What line are you?
That was service contracts.
Line 16. Okay, sorry, thank you.
And then we'd go down one line to outside contractors, which in turn that's guard railings and trees. And I put an increase on that because the trees just don't let up. And a lot of things that the guys can't handle. I contract that out through 3 different companies.
Awesome.
And also the tree line itself, which I increased for that same reason. Next line down, contract for MS4 for dry weather sampling, and they did some of them. I don't know if the 154 is an accurate number on how many we have left to do, but it's all done with different times of the year with seasoning. The next one is the street lights, which that is an increase from Eversource. We haven't had any additions to street lighting, but we were looking into some concerns that residents had. We may be adding 1 or 2 street lights in certain areas that has to be gone over.
Yeah, I get a couple requests in my office that we.
We talked about. I haven't done any research on.
I get to meet with Eversource next week, so I'm going to ask her the price per unit when I talk to her.
So their rates have gone up.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 6 to 10%.
Inevitable. Yep, so overall, we're not seeing really much of an increase at all. What are we seeing, $50 across the,
Yes.
yeah.
Is there, just while we're on the streetlights, is there like really clear criteria for whether we put one in or not? And if there's not,
It depends on where it is. If it's on our roads, strictly our roads, that would be something that we do a safety thing on. If we needed any engineering help, we call the state. The state will come in with their engineers and say, well, yeah, you need it. Yeah, you don't need it.
So
it doesn't.
In my experience, in other municipalities, street intersections where road meets a road or turns in a road, bends in a road. So that's traditionally where every town and it seemed, to be honest, I was driving around town after we had the conversation. It seems like that's where all of ours are too.
Yes.
Intersecting roads and bends in a road. So that way
Yeah.
it reduces
Dark residential areas and things like that.
We did. Oh, God. 2010, 2011. We did a major overhaul of the street lighting back then.
Yeah.
The board did.
I think that's when they switched them all over to LED.
No, that was, about 8 years ago.
Oh, okay.
No, where we actually do the budget requirements, we,
Big cut.
there were big cuts made, and I think that was John Bell, myself, and Larry
Mhm.
Grove. And Board of Finance had asked them to review the lights back then, and they took out a ton of them.
Oh, they took out a bunch.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And they
Really?
went back to exactly what you're talking about.
Oh, interesting.
Intersections, bad curves, ends of road.
Dark residential areas and things like
Where the
that.
requirements were needed.
Sure.
That had been trimmed back dramatically.
Interesting.
that's why I asked.
Subsequently, I'm sorry, there were requests for more, and it was, got to be a little, that just maybe, about, is it just because somebody asked you?
Yeah, just because somebody asked.
Be careful.
This is exactly why I asked this criteria, so we should have criteria for it, because there's no zero risk in the world, and you could just say light up the whole town.
Yeah, exactly, to make it safe.
So we need to be careful.
Every pole gets a light.
We get a little
I know.
Specious, but it can be a slippery slope, and it's $100,000 to light the lights that we have. I'm not anti-lights.
That's why
I 100% know
And
that
they're down.
DDOT and NTSB
if
has
the residents have
regulations.
concern, that's why we call the state engineers and to get their 2 cents. And not that they make a decision on any of our roads. Yeah, exactly. Help us out.
Always been, if they requested a light and we chose that it doesn't meet our requirements, they could pay the rate that the town pays and have it put up. But they pay for it.
See that?
And that has been done.
Oh,
You know what the procedure is there? Now that we have all the players in the room, and I don't mean to harp on this, but
To put a light.
is there like a no, like if a resident agrees to pay for it, is that like an assessment, like a pass through, or do they pay Eversource directly?
They pay directly.
Oh, okay. Oh, you do? Had.
They're billed directly.
I'm curious to see how much it is per unit. That's all. I'll find it on
If
next
you
week.
really want one, you can buy it. You can pay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Need a couple in our.
And just another quick question, street lighting costs. This year looks like it's gonna finish at 90, we should just add 10% to the 90 and go to 99? And add the 10% to the one.
The other increase was related to the talk of there being additional lights.
Additional lighting.
So that's why it's higher than simply increasing over the 90.
So you go from 90 to
Probably a little higher than it needs to be.
So you go from 90 to 99, and there's about almost another 20,000 just in hardware and lights, actually buying lights.
Yeah, that's probably a spot we could come back.
Okay. So without the added lights, it's about $19,000 to $20,000.
Right.
On advertisement, we're flat at 500. Equipment rentals, keeping the same. That's almost like an insurance policy in case we're in the middle of paving and something bad happens and I can't borrow it. Uniform service, which it will be going up, but we won't know when it'll be going up. We won't hear that until July, which that'll be a minimal price going up. Engineering services, basically the cost is gonna be kind of unknown for getting consulting on different things between MS4. When I do my construction work where I have to get an engineer in there to make sure that the outfalls are correct and water saturation is correct. If we get to those projects, if they do occur, or if something does occur in emergency, we do have the money, which we can also use that engineering for MS4 itself, in case that we run into a problem with MS4.
If I might, the 6,500 expected for the current year is, actual running rate bill, or is that just using last year's budget, or what?
I believe it was actual running rate. I can check it again, Steve, and get back to you on that.
I just noticed the year before, I see nothing,
Right.
Centerline marking, I had to increase that up. I have to do railroad crossings again this year. And I noticed that only lasts about, luckily, it lasted 2 years and it needs to be done again. I'm looking into epoxy paint, which is quite expensive. I probably will do them all, but not all of them in epoxy paint. I could say by just physically looking at them, the worst ones, we'll do an epoxy paint because they get most beat up. So the epoxy paint lasts up to 5 years, which regular paint doesn't.
Joe, you doing any more roadside spraying at all?
No.
Right.
Got another obligation.
I do have a question for you, Brian. Excuse me for 2 seconds.
Oh, not away.
Still time.
Have it on the note.
Well, they're chatting.
Who does the sidewalk?
I have
neighbor
to
does.
check.
I meant to say it's on the
People, can we add, like, here on line 40 on mechanic one, can we put highway department, number of people, who's the number one?
No,
So actually-
Discussion every year.
Right, and,
That's supposed to be part of ours.
I apologize, I have it, it's outside of the print range.
Okay.
So 7 maintainers, 1 crew leader,
All right, okay.
1 mechanic.
We have our church meeting on the 28th, and I'll bring it up on the 28th.
One crew leader, 7 maintainers.
All right.
Yeah.
Something we can do for me there.
Sorry about that.
Right.
So it's not including the ones at the transfer station.
Right.
Right, because it's transfer station.
Water monitoring? Is that what you were talking about?
We're back up.
Okay.
On all your levels, Joe, I think we're pretty clear on level funding stuff, so we're just talking about a couple of the
Yeah.
random stuff.
Sorry, Joe, if we could, get down on the track before you jump back in. On the pupil side, 2 things. One, we had someone that was out on, overseas duty. That's.
Yes, that has resolved, the mechanic has been hired.
Yes.
Sorry, I should put your words.
No, we had somebody that went,
Now, he's not, you don't have the spot open anymore. He's permanently not coming back.
he's permanently not coming back and I hired a permanent mechanic. Which has been with us for about 6 weeks now. Right around 6 weeks.
And my last question on people for now, stay forever, but for now. We had furloughs happening in the month of July.
Mhm.
Spilling into
July, August.
That not be in your projection? Will we see a reflection in the projection?
Yes, we should.
Okay. So if that could maybe Bill just as a separate, not looking to cut the budget, I'm not saying there's a cut in people, it'd be good to understand what that impact was. We probably have to add in the not workers' comp,
Human employment.
help me out. Yeah, or the unemployment pay.
Awesome.
Thanks, Joe, got it back to you.
I forgot where I was. Okay, flat.
Center line marking, and we were just talking about.
Okay, center line. Yeah, well, okay, and then,
That's the next.
we go down to other services. We have water monitoring, which that's all staying flat. Medical supplies, the same. Supplies, the same. Tools, they'll be trying for an increase on it. I'm looking into buying a computer to hook up to our trucks and equipment, and I've been pricing some of that stuff out. approximately $5,000 to buy with an annual fee of $1,200 to update this computer. But this is not just for trucks. It'll fit equipment, our newer loaders, so on and so forth.
Anything that operates on it.
Exactly, for a computer, but I was waiting for the new mechanic before I purchased it because I don't want to purchase something that I'm capable of using when he's one step ahead of me. So I'm gonna sit down with him and we're gonna go through salesmen and get other DPW's opinions if they have the same type of diagnostic equipment. And
What are you paying now an hour to get something diagnosed? Roughly.
well, it all depends on where it's gotta go, if it gets sent out. And usually if it's like Freightliner, say if I gotta send something to Freightliner because the computer's going crazy, well, it's there, they fix it. Diagnostic fees, tell you the truth, I haven't looked at it to itemize it.
Something like that is what, $500 bill?
Oh, yeah. Just for them to look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just for them to say, hey, we know what's wrong with it.
This to me sounds like a no-brainer, like a quick ROI.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking the man hours to bring the truck.
Oh, yeah.
Truck,
Exactly.
fuel, everything.
And like even right now, I just got one back. We had backup trucks running for storms, and this is nothing, of course, the time of year they're gonna break down is now. But, so one of the higher priced ones that I found was $5,000 with the annual fee. The first 2 years is free, and then an annual fee of $1,200, which I will shop for that until I find one that's.
Sure, but a savings.
Oh, yeah, in the long term, within a year, it'll pay for itself. Compared to some of the equipment you look at, you can throw parts at it all day long and you're not gonna gain on it, so.
Awesome.
Highway sign stays the same. We go down to, diesel fuel, which there is a decrease in that.
And that's just based on
Based on the price of the fuel.
same.
We won't know until the contract gets put in, basically,
That's updated for next year's contract.
for next year's contract. So there'll be some savings there. Lubricant stays basically the same. That's also a tough call to keep it at the same because you never know what the prices of gas, oil, the regular motor oil and hydraulic fluid changes all the time also. And when it does go on sale, I usually try to take advantage of that. Office supplies, we cut that down. There's the need for it, for pens, paper, and so on and so forth. We're okay. And like Marie talked about it, a lot of stuff that Marie buys, it goes throughout the different departments anyway. Equipment repair, of course, I have to up that because the prices of that it's gonna always go up a little bit here and there just to cover the cost of things going up. Catch basin cleaning to do the jet work. I have a bunch of pipes that we tried to flush out with our pumping system, which won't work out. So I do have to hire this jet truck to come in and clean some of the pipes out that have so much sediment in them that regular pump water will not take care of. Drainage, I did get notification from piping companies and the price of concrete has gone up. There was a percentage, I don't recall what it was, but that's gonna be going up for catch basin repair and replacement. Truck repair, we left that at the same, just putting up equipment because sometimes that goes back and forth from equipment to truck repair, where the money is needed and exactly what it's used for on the vehicle, depending on the season. Yes,
Yeah,
that's it.
really nice job keeping it, basically There's a lot of moving pieces. It looks like you really.
There is some cutting that can be done. It will be minimal, but
Things you really thought you needed and you
cut back on
I
things.
recognize that in front of everybody. It's like really nice, well done. Bill, can we, just to the degree that we can without it being little tiny dollar items, it'd be nice to get the one-timers in capital.
Yeah.
Like, if you're buying a computer and it's $5,000, cause then we see this whipsaw going on, up and down, up and down.
Right, that, if I remember right, that was $3,500. Our capital threshold, I think, is 5 at the moment.
Yeah, I think it is.
So that's why that one was there.
And that's okay.
I mean-
It's more of a general comment.
Gotcha.
And we pulled a lot out. It was,
Mhm.
there were a lot more of those badass. It's just easier when you start looking at.
I agree.
Things over a time horizon.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm looking at the outside contractors and tree service,
Yep.
and I would assume that there'll be some price increase, but you're going up 12-14%. So we're going to do a lot more as well as having some degree of.
Well,
price increase.
it's to the point where it's not a lot more. It's just more general. Like I can use, for instance, Lowell Davis Road. At the end of Lowell Davis Road, 4 trees were just taken out that were monsters. And we could have taken one down and kept it safe, but I wanted to kill them all and get them all out of there, which disappointingly, we had the opportunity because Miss Poplawski passed away. She would never let us touch a tree, so I jumped in on it. And I just keep noticing areas that aren't one dead tree, 2 dead trees. There are multiple areas that I would like to.
But you're doing that this year, are you gonna do even, I guess what I'm asking, are you gonna do even a lot more next year, is that what we're?
We still have more to do left on this budget here. And next year I have a couple of areas on Quartertown Farm Road that are areas that are stretches a mile long that we have to take down because the power's gonna go out.
Again, my you sound like you've done a lot, or doing a lot this current year.
Yes,
You're gonna do even more.
I'm gonna try my best. I'm gonna do my best to get more trees taken down because there are more dead. Yeah.
Any other questions? All right, let's move on to the next one.
29.
Ground Supply Farms.
Sorry, what page?
29.
I moved it up trying for the hiring of summer help, which I could not do last year because of the layoff. Because I just couldn't hire temporary help while having union people off. But I'm gonna try for 2 people this year for lawn mowing, parks, cemeteries, so on and so forth, which I've had a difficult time with. Just finding people to work, basically. At $22 an hour, 32 hours a week. I'd like to get 2 people in before Memorial Day or right around Memorial Day and just keep them for the 10-week period, wherever it may end up.
Bill, I'm gonna go back to the current year number. Given that we didn't hire this past summer, are we actually still gonna spend the budgeted amount?
At this point, we probably won't. I'm guilty of on a lot of the salary lines going straight to budget for the projection.
One quick question, Joe, on paving,
Yep,
that road contract where they were checking the roads once a year.
yep, Beta.
Where is that in here?
Actually, I don't think that is in here. That'd be under the outside contractors. But Beta, we are gonna be switching the companies. We're looking into switching the companies from Beta to another company that's a little bit cheaper, that does the exact same thing. And, we were supposed to meet up with Joe McGuire, which
It was a gentleman we already met with.
we met with once.
Yeah.
He called me, wanted to come back and see and give us the pricing, because he didn't have any of the pricing. He wanted to have us together.
Yeah.
So we could do the pricing, and I haven't, but I still kept all that maps, so.
I'm just wondering where it's in there.
No, it doesn't have its own line item. It's under contracts. It doesn't,
Just on the.
outside contractors.
Outside contractors?
Yep. we paid our initial fee for that beta company and the contract is up. The contract runs out, I believe this spring. Sometime in May, that contract is up. So I was kind of shopping around and asking what other towns are doing with a bunch of the DPW directors.
Evaluate the roads.
Yeah, they evaluate the road, they do LiDAR, and they assist me on direction. What is the best treatment without digging the road up and repaving everything? Yeah, let's do this and we'll get 10 years out of it instead of spending too much money.
Overspending.
Are we good on 29?
29 grounds and parks, yeah, I am. Any questions? Okay. All right, next, transfer station.
Page 30.
I don't know if they have it on their sheets, Bill, but I have it on mine about the 4 hour per week pay for the transfer station operator.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know, is it on theirs? Can they see that?
No.
Okay, because that's not supposed to be on there. That went out with the last contract.
That's what I had highlighted here.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I just wanted to ask.
It looks like the only increase we have is really extermination.
Extermination and Marie was working on, there was another company coming
We're
up.
bidding that out right now, so
Yeah.
I think, like, we'll see where it goes, but yeah, local company.
We had a bad rat problem last year.
I think we still do.
No, it was bad.
They go hand in hand with
like
refuse.
You had to go beat on things with sticks before you worked on it. Other than that,
Yeah, I'm not really seeing much.
there was electrical, of course, which.
On the contract.
Yeah, page 30.
Being contracted raises for the employees, but.
The big increases on repair.
Line 3.
Yeah, building repairs, we have a lot of repairs that we have to do. We have some compactors that need a lot of work that are rotted out, which I've been collecting parts, just waiting for the season to kick in so we can get up there. I'm also looking for 2 new storage containers. Because we have old truck bodies, and I've been trying to do this, and I gotta look into the NIP money and to get rid of those old fiberglass truck bodies with a roof leak on them and get some shipping crates. They don't have to be perfect, but something that that's lockable and it's pretty much weather tight.
That's what the 2 new containers?
Yeah, the 2 new containers, those 2 truck bodies that are up there, the roofs have caved in on them, and there's pallets in one of them holding the roof up.
What line is that in, Joe?
Repair building drums and.
Yeah, 21.
So the $10,000 is for 2 containers, these like these 40-foot containers with the.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but I can buy them used cheap.
Yeah.
You can get one trips right now for pretty close.
Yeah.
Could you talk to me on the line 3, I think it is, overtime? Why it's dropping from what we're expecting to do, we're expecting to do this year? First, why is it 15,000 this year, I guess is the first question.
Good question. I do not have an answer for that. I can look into that, but I know that last year we had Kevin White went out on an operation, and for us to replace him, we had to use one of the DPW men to go up, and he would get overtime because we had Thursday nights, we had Saturdays, and they would get.
So sorry, Ken, so if you guys don't mind, this falls under the same category that Bill needs to look at, so you can go come back to it.
Yeah, I
I do have another bill number.
did not know them, but I understand why it's only.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Contract and the difference in the schedule.
With the guys.
Big drop in explanation on why we go, what's different?
Well, both sides, why is it so much and why is it going
I don't think
down?
we can get a meaningful answer until,
I'll refresh it.
That's just paying the budget, pretty much, projection.
Not for all the homes, no.
Yeah, that one's different. There must be a blip there that caused that to be higher.
Yeah.
Because normally on salaries, I tend to move right towards the
I know, I mentioned that, right.
But this one bucks that trend, so
Yeah,
there's probably something there.
I assume
And other than that, we went,
The only thing I'd like to just bring to people's attention, that line 18, the tipping fees and sludge, that's still, I guess, a draft number. We don't have a new.
no, we won't,
Contract for that yet.
new contract doesn't come in for that for another 2 months. When we find out from Waste Management what the tipping fee prices are going to be.
We're still going down to Lisbon, Penfield.
Yeah, Lisbon and, Willimantic.
I
We
did
stay
go
in
here
Connecticut.
because projection was coming in around 215-ish. So I left it at 220, hoping that any increases
already in there.
is in there, right?
So I have a question.
What do we ship to, Willimantic?
Willimantic gets recyclables and, Lisbon gets, bulky and MSW household waste and bulky.
Quick question. Historically, you're down two full-time guys across transfer station and DPW?
Yes, one from a long time ago, but we are down one person.
So obviously we can't eradicate overtime, but I'm looking at 73,000 and close to 15,000. Would it be smart to look at one more career person to reduce overtime and be more efficient? I still plowing, but still we're definitely covering, we're covering shifts of people being out on vacation, PTO, or.
Yeah, and, yeah, exactly.
And that's to go work at the dump one Saturday because we couldn't find someone to work there. So is this a bigger conversation that we're already down two people? We're seeing a little bit of uptake in overtime. Like, is this a bigger conversation? Are we? I don't know.
We need the numbers to see what it costs us for the benefits.
Is it like so?
Where did you get your numbers? Sorry, where did you get?
Well, I was looking at overtime between the transfer station, the public works salaries.
Public Works is 23, and we had the 15, you're at about 38. Unless it's another
Overtime, double time, line 7. Yeah, I guess, yeah, you're right. So I guess that. But well, no, like historically, we've again doing less with more, or doing more with less. We're seeing an uptake of overtime. We've decreased 2 positions. It seems like the workload is in fact going up. We're using more sub-services to complete tasks. Are we robbing Peter to pay Paul? Are we tripping over tripping over dollars to pick up pennies here?
Maybe Joe and you guys can come up with an answer.
Part-timer.
But adding a body.
Well, we're also hiring, and this is the other conversation too. We're hiring 2 temp employees for the summer that we've been having trouble finding or filling, or once they get trained up, it's time for them to leave. All of these factors put together, to me, spells out from a business mind of exactly what I do, that the operational need is there.
Mm-hmm.
The subservice number's up, the overtime's up, the thing with just to me, you're already down 2. I'm just curious why, just conversation for the room. So I guess we'll talk about that.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. That's all.
Okay.
The other line that, something else went up, water monitoring, the price of that. And I think other than that, everything, all lubrication for the transfer station. Because every time something goes wrong with the transfer station, we need hydraulic fluid. I've been stealing it from the DPW. So it's time for them to get their own line for their own material.
How have receipts been now that they've been altered? Are we now at a break even?
Well, yeah, that'd be me. So I don't know if you guys had a chance to look at Scott's report. He's showing $393,000 in receipts. The budget was 402. I took a quick look. If you now keep in mind, Scott's report is as of January 31st. If you were look at year to date, we've actually just broken. We're above budget on receipts for transfer station fees. We're at about 404,000. So we've hit the budget, which gives us a really good shot at at reaching that break even for this year, which obviously was the goal. In addition, I took a look at, I think I mentioned this at a past Board of Finance meeting, so this might be repetition for some folks. There's still probably about $15,000 or $20,000 of additional permit sales that happen from here on out for the rest of the year. That's a lot of, in talking to Scott about, it's a lot of half-year permits that get bought at the end of the year. So we'll probably come in somewhere maybe around 420,000 against a budget of 403.
Did we ever
On
look
the
at our,
income side.
On the income side, yes.
did we ever look at that time, I know we obviously raised permit rates to break even. Did we ever look at bulky per tonnage cost?
We have, Winston, which is.
Not that we're paying out, that we're charging, because
Oh, that we're
bulky is above and
charging.
beyond, right? Yeah.
Uh,
What do you know off the top of your head what we're charging per ton on?
no,
I know
no,
that's,
to the,
I know. I
yeah,
don't mean to put guns.
yeah, I,
To answer your question, no, I don't think that was part of the price increase. When we had those conversations, Ken, it was just permits, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I had thought too.
We talked about it.
Okay.
We talked about it, but I don't think it was like took action.
No.
Okay, that's something you and I can talk
But in
about.
total, we're looking about four
Based
thirty
on
worth
the
of
increase
increase,
that you did?
420.
420, yep.
That was the right thing. That was the right.
Which is right around what we get. Right around what break even would be, at least when we did the math last year.
That's good. Good place
So our
to
budget is 450. That's right.
What part of Steve?
The budget for,
No, for total,
I
yeah.
think we
kids are taking us 450 for not counting what fringes at there, et cetera.
Yeah, so maybe we'll be a little bit under.
That's why I brought up the tonnage rate.
So I would also say that I think now we've got a big shock in terms of the transfer station increase, but wouldn't be wrong to think about, increases year after year, not giant ones, but something that keeps us in line as opposed to 5 years from now having another big giant shock about what you guys doing to it.
I agree.
well, that's why I didn't think of doing anything last year with the sticker prices going up. The bulky waste costs for the residents coming in paying. I think I wanna up that.
Yeah.
And, the tires also.
Yes.
I'm trying to get on a program through the state to where they come get the tires. And it's done just like the mattresses are now and the electronics. And I got put on the list and did a survey and everything like that. And it would be great if that does come through, because it wouldn't even be our container. It would be their container, they come pick it up. And I think there's just a stipulation to where there's no rim, so we'd have to devise a way to when somebody brings in a rim and tire, little manual labor and maybe an old tire machine or something like that. I mean,
But even raising those is fine, but if we're roughly 30 or 40,
There's
actually more than that.
Steve, now that
yeah,
the 420, 403, 420 I mentioned is permit sales. We also have incoming tipping fees that get added to that. That's not in that 420, which gets us, that's why, that's the delta.
Okay, right.
That's anybody that, sorry, I was very focused on the.
Mhm.
Thank you, and I appreciate that.
Well, we're also selling, we're getting revenue for the scrap metal.
Yep,
yep,
Yeah,
scrap metal.
not nearly what we used to.
No, and,
For recycling, we're still in, yes.
Number greater than zero.
Yep, absolutely.
yeah, well, yeah, milk jugs too. We're hauling a whole bunch of air down there to get paid 50 cents. Basically what it is, but we get paid for that. We could make some paper plates
We'll
or
look at the
something.
per ton rates and I'll do a comparison of where all of the other transfer stations are for bulky waste per ton to drop, and we'll see where we're at and still make it obviously a competitive bargain, but be more in line with probably our competitors. I think that's fair.
Yeah,
So I think we're well under. Like if you were to go to the Casella transfer station in Oxford per ton for tipping
or
Webster.
Webster, yeah, Webster has theirs. It's probably a lot more.
Yeah, yeah.
And we get that now when people complained about the things going up or something that we don't accept. We tell them, go to Webster. You know, if they they don't like that we can't do it. You can go to Epson, you can pay.
Give Webster
Just to go-
trash. I like
Yeah, yeah, that's okay. We've gotten a lot of their trash over the years, so.
Anyway, moving on to cemeteries.
Okay. No increase on that, no, no.
All right. Any questions on cemeteries? Okay, let's go move on to the topic of the night, snow removal.
Snow removal.
It's 32.
Overtime, of course, an increase. It has to be made. Especially with the 3% pay raise going up. The overtime will increase. And the same thing with the additional payroll for it, because of the 3% increase. Breakfast, the meals, that all stays the same. Tech service.
Outside contractors, what do we use for outside contract?
Yeah, in case I have to hire somebody. And you're not on the list, so forget it.
Conflict of interest. Far too busy anyway.
In case, say like if we ran into another 2 feet of snow, I'd have to get somebody to do some winging on the sides of the road, to hire an outside contractor to come wing. Or, we haven't had to.
Yeah.
But there's a possibility. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. There's a possibility that it could happen.
Okay.
Sand and salt. Is that staying flat?
No.
Oh,
it's not, huh? Oh, I couldn't,
quite the winner.
I couldn't tell.
You have to have some new projection numbers for that.
Yeah, then once again, this budget was done, that projection was done way, way before. Right now, we have gone through the $30,000 that the Board of Finance moved over and $10,000 of transfers from Joe's other lines. He's also identified another $40,000 that we would be knocking on next within his budgets. But he was reluctant to pull the trigger on those right away because a lot of them are lines that we may need, like truck repair, for example, was one of them that he was sizing up.
I'm just afraid to pull the trigger on that because I can't predict Mother Nature. I do not want to take that money and have it transferred over and then have to come back here and ask if I can have it back. Because I didn't use it. I don't know if I will use it. We probably, right at this second, we probably have about a little over, I say about 550 ton of salt sitting in there.
And how many runs will that get us?
I have that all figured out right here. Just when if you're gonna ask, we run out with 7 9-ton trucks each time we go out. If it's gonna start snowing in a half hour, if we're gonna go out and pre-treat, that's 7 trucks and 9-ton, and that's 63 ton going out there. 4 1-tons go out and 1 truck with sand and salt mixture, which is not a lot of salt in there. It's for the dirt roads. So basically, every time we go out on the road, it's 70 ton of salt. So basically, give or take how much they load in the truck, it's not weighed out. So your average, like the big storm we had with all day, we went out 3 times during that. So we went out and pre-treated. We had to go out in the middle of the storm to keep the road safe. And when we were all done cleaning up, we went out and got everything cleaned up again. So it becomes quite costly. And I know they don't want to hear it, but I tell them, turn it down, do your corners, your intersections. We got to make it safe, but we also have to save money. I can't go crazy and go over and end up with nothing. Salt is a hard thing to come by. Between Morton Salt, which I have 2 contracts, Morton Salt and Eastern Salt Company out of Massachusetts. Morton Salt has treated us pretty good. Gateway down in New London, I have online, there's nothing but complaints from other DPWs. They've ordered, some of the cities have ordered hundreds of tons of salt and they don't even get one. They've been treating us pretty good and I've been trying to be a little bit lenient with it. but with the safety factor in mind. We gotta keep it safe, but we can't have an empty shed because then nobody will be safe.
Joe, what do you normally have, at the end of the season?
At the end of the season, last year we were lucky, normally
What do you normally have and what would you like?
about 400 ton. I'd like to have about 600 ton sitting in there waiting for the fall.
600.
600 ton. Yeah, the old buildings were 400 ton.
Yeah, the old building we had was, the bigger building was a little under 400, and we had the original smaller one, which we kept half with salt and half with, sand salt mixture, which we had about 400 ton. Having 600 ton on a season like this was, in December, we didn't waste. We used a lot of material where we haven't in the past 8 years.
Extremely busy December and January.
Yes,
This-
extremely.
We need to think we need to think this year about some reasonable level of inventory, because we basically spent the 150. And we let down everything we started the season, which was paid for in the prior year. So if we don't take that into consideration this year,
I think year after year, we should be thinking that, because we have more than enough storage space.
well, that's a different, if you wanna build the baseline going in, and I'm not opposed to that, that's another, maybe we start that next year. I'm just
Yeah,
suggesting that we
yeah.
gotta think through beyond just, hey, we don't have enough in for, call it normal winter.
Yeah.
We're basically turning the dial going into, we could be turning the dial if we burn out this 550, not having 400 to 600.
So right now, I
From
did
the
some
price.
quick math. We're looking at about 7 more salt applications. In the next calendar week, we have the opportunity to realistically salt 5 more times.
Tonight, Friday and Sunday.
And that's single applications.
And
Tonight we'll
that's
salt.
single applica, if we get,
Yeah. If
we
it's
get ice.
innovation,
we get snow, it's not bad. We get ice,
Well, it's
we
dark and freezing.
multi.
Yeah.
And the frost in the ground creates havoc. Like, right now, you go in a shady spot on asphalt, it's gonna be a little bit slushy because it's coming up through the ground, so it's something.
We'll probably have a better view on this by March 5th. And then by the time we go through our whole series of meetings, we're gonna be in April.
yeah. As long as we can make it
Probably
to March
not, it could
15th.
snow in April, but I mean, I think we're gonna be able to anchor on it more.
I think March 15th is our number. That's usually what I go by.
Wishful
You said
thinking.
roughly 200 tons for this storm when you're out 3 times. And that is how many dollars roughly?
At about $97 a ton,
Call it 100.
yeah.
Are you trying to stretch it with a salt sand mix?
No, absolutely not. I do not want to put that down on the road. Simple fact, MS4, they frown upon that because the sand is actually a carrying agent to carry the salt where it's not supposed to go. That's one thing they say. And I'll just explain to you, when the water's going down the road and it's washing the sand down the road, it's carrying the salt with it. If it's just salt, it turns into a liquid and goes into the ground. And salt doesn't go away. Salt never goes. Gasoline goes away, oil goes away, but salt never goes away. It's natural. So that's what the whole MS4 thing is about, is pollutants through salt.
I know Joe's not really bought into it, but the whole Brian conversation. I know Brian's come a long way in the last 10 years. And
You'll have to talk me into it. Because that's equipment. Also, that's equipment on top of it. Brine storage, pumping.
But Brian is like 1/10 of the cost per application. Yeah. So we'll talk about it.
Well, this is good. I think we should probably revisit it, because we're not.
No. You gave us a lot of good
Still
information.
variable from now to, March.
Yeah, meals.
We're gonna go right over that.
No staffing, something going in the next year.
Yeah. And we have the infrastructure to do it, so.
Well, if you don't, then we have to hire a budget to cover it, because we use that.
Right. Yeah, you can't pretend you didn't use it exactly.
And equipment and parts for snow removal, I upped that just a little bit. I didn't need to get too crazy on that, because in turn, this equipment repair, DPW equipment repair and truck repair all go hand in hand for whatever it may be.
Nice job, Joe.
As always. Final questions, final thoughts?
No, we'll let Joe get out of here, because he may be out later tonight.
Most definitely.
No, early this morning. Get ready for the kids.
All right, now the budget is needed. Do we have anything else on our agenda? I don't think so. All right.
Hello. Say it. A lot of the capital is Joe. We talk capital right now? Sorry, Joe.
No, if you
When's
guys,
the schedule tomorrow?
capital,
Capital is on tomorrow.
is it? So I gotta come here anyway?
Well, why don't we just bang it out right now? It's 7:40. It will take 20 minutes at the max. We'll be out
Gotta
here by
bang it
8.
out.
Then you won't have to come tomorrow.
No, I can come tomorrow also.
Thoughts, me and you.
Up to Joe, if he's up to it.
Oh, I'm up to it. I'm
The
up to it.
last page of the package.
All right, let's just.
Large page this year.
You're laughing. How come?
What else am I gonna go cry?
Do you want to start at the top of the page with the town roof? There's $100,000 being put aside. I have to spend money, which in the building budget, I put some money aside anyway. No matter what, I gotta get somebody back on a roof to look for some old leaks. It is just a constant buckets all over the place, and every year it's the same thing.
And now in offices.
And now he has Kelly's office, and the disappointing part of it is not just the roof that this entails. This entails all the insulation that's up there to go with it also, because everything leaked on it. And when we go up there to repair it and look at it, try to find a leak, the mold, the black, it needs to go away. Disappointingly, it does.
Would it be helpful for me to put out a bid for a new roof? At least so we can get some more concrete information. Because I can do that whenever.
Well,
Is it 100,000, get that for the whole roof, or is that?
no, that's not the whole roof. I imagine that's gonna probably be a third.
It's a third roughly.
I'm guessing, yeah, until we get some real numbers in, and the insulation to put on top of it. Maybe even it could be something to where the insulation that's put up there, maybe we can do some spray insulation instead. Maybe it can be open cell or a closed cell, whichever the building inspector will allow us to have in there for the type of building. That may be a cheaper and easier way to go. Until we get some people up there to look at it, which when we had the salt barn built, I got everybody's business card and had them look at that building too at the time, but that was 2 years ago and we never stepped forward with it.
Okay. Ambulance building.
So that's a deposit essentially, 100.
Basically.
Any grants on that property?
We can look. I can talk to Tara about it.
Funds left from the.
So there's nothing for ARPA.
ARPA's done.
No.
It all went into the salt shed.
Yeah. So we'll look into that. We'll actually get we'll talk about it in the next.
Some real
week.
numbers.
Get a little bit more real numbers. Maybe I'll reach out to Package Deal and Sutton and see if they have a referral. All right, okay, so we have town garage roof, ambulance building. Do we want to talk about that real quick?
I mean, if we're just trying to
Get your stuff out.
Stick on
The roadside mower.
Roadside mower, which that is a price on the Kubota, almost exactly like the one that we have that we got to that joint venture with towns. A complete unit with the flail head on it instead of an axe head is priced out at $218,000.
Lease cost is $38,000.
9-ton truck, identical to the last one that we got.
Lease cost is $52,000.
And that's yearly?
Yep, 7 years. These are the 7-year numbers.
7 year.
Because that's what we always tend to
kind of
gravitate to.
The John Deere snow blower, which it will double as a mower. It is a which Nick doesn't like these John Deere mowers I was looking at. It doesn't necessarily mean John Deere. I'm looking into Ventrac and a couple of different things that with cabs on them that we can do the snow blowing. And in summertime, they will also be mowers. And each one, the Ventrac and the John Deere do have different attachments. I'm kind of leaning more towards a Ventrac. The school does have a Ventrac. And I talked with Bill Birch.
Oh.
And they have certain attachments. And I talked with him. He has some odd attachments, and I asked him if he was looking to buying any to hold off. If I can get this and get a Ventrac, we would get our mower that we would use all the time, and they'd have their mower. But they say, I'm just saying, not that I want to get a stump grinder, but he doesn't have one. We get a stump grinder, they need it, we need it. We can mute, we're all in the same town. We're all, underneath the same roof, so that may be a better way.
And we can use that to safely mow the dump. Right now, we're using,
They do have a wheel system that you put on it that widens it up. The hills with our tractors, our over the fence mowers are top heavy. They're not made to go on the hills like that. They're made for being on the side of the road, which we've been dealing with that for a while. I think it'd be a lot safer to have a piece of equipment there that anybody could mow. Riverside Park,
Replacement trailer for the mowers.
replacement trailer for the mowers. The trailer we have is over 10,000. And when we put it on our 550, you need a Class A license to drive it, our mower trailer. And we have been doing that, and it's time before somebody gets hurt or we get in trouble to get the proper trailer that's under 10,000. So there's only a couple of us that have Class A licenses down there. Mm-hmm. So to get it, so Class B drivers can drive the mowers around. The roller, which I put in for the exact same roller as I put in for last year, the price went up just a little bit from last year. It's to replace our Ingersoll Rand, which is going on 25 years old.
Would we surplus the old one out?
Huh?
Would we surplus the old one out?
No,
Or
I'm
would you?
kind of a hoarder. I think I would keep that as backup.
Okay.
So what did you spend on renting? We had this.
I didn't, because I didn't do any paving. I just did some shimming here and there. So
That was a trade-off. We put the money in the rental.
into the rental, if I needed it, yeah, because not that I don't trust the old one, but it's an old one.
Lease cost 15,000.
Here.
Yep. For 7.
If I remember right, Joe, your concern last year was the availability of a roller.
That,
when you're ready to pay.
that's the problem also. If I wanted a paver, I would have to rent the paver for 3 months. Because every day is different at the DPW, and we may not be going paving this week. And even though I said we were, we can't. So we'd have to rent it and have it basically on site with us for a good period of time. And that's a difference, like with the over the fence mower, we could rent one of those for the summer, which we would use it the full time. But the rental for one of those machines is for the 3 months is less. It's more than the yearly payment.
Yeah, what about the roller?
Huh?
What about the roller?
To
lease it for 3 months.
I don't know. I can't say that, but I will get that info for you. I'll make some phone calls tomorrow.
Like looking at $600 a week at least.
All right.
You're probably looking at day rate on a 2-drum roller is probably $250 from
It's gotta be.
Sunbelt. And then you might be able to get a discount, a lower rate for a month or a.
Yeah, the longer, a little bit of a discount.
Yeah. I don't know if the ROI is there, given the amount that we use it.
Yeah, that's the
Certain
thing.
things I'm all about, like trucks, fleet vehicles, makes sense.
Yeah.
Right? Your maintenance is included if stuff breaks down, stuff
Yep.
like that. But
A roller gets used
when it comes to,
for, in all reality,
yeah,
30 days a year.
yeah.
Split up
And we're
between
gonna have that
3
for another
months.
20 years. Same thing with the boom mower. Like it just doesn't, to me, it doesn't. Yeah.
I might talk about the mower for a second.
Yeah.
Sorry, mower. We are sharing one with.
No, we did. We got on a program through Eversource.
I think Eversource gave it to the town.
We were the host. And the program was that they were gonna, which that program lasted only that 5 years. They were supposed to do it for all three of the towns that were in on that. And it just happened to be, I don't know if we got picked to be the host. And we end up with the machine in the end. And then they give another machine, say the Killingly. They're the host, we get to use it. In the end, they get it. And we still have that mower.
And that program is still in effect?
No,
That's-
no, I don't, Eversource, they never kept going for, it was supposed to be like a thing every 5 years, we were supposed to get a new over the fence mower, which would have saved us tons of money because even though it's borrowed between three towns, hey, we could get it for 2 weeks out of the year, 2 weeks of mowing is 2 weeks of mowing.
The program's dead.
Okay, Chipper.
Chipper, our chipper is the same age as the roller. We have a Bandit chipper. That is a brand spanking new chipper to replace the exact replacement of the one we have, just a newer model. Ours is starting to get fatigued motor-wise. Everything else has been replaced and repaired over the course of the years. We need a chipper. We have to have a chipper. Whether it be a new chipper or we just keep working on our old one. It's something I'm gonna put in for next year, so you'll see that on there next year again, because it's something that is needed.
Motor replacement, Joe.
It's an old Perkins in there, and I don't think, that Perkins, I don't even make them anymore. No.
So we have thousands of hours on one.
Oh, yeah, that was bought by Movines and,
Oh, God.
and in the late eighties. I think it's from the late eighties. I can get you the specifics on that roller if you
Is there a
want me
lease on
to.
that too, Bill?
17,000.
It shocked me. They are quite expensive. I did not expect it to be that expensive. Next line down is a replacement for one of our flatbed dualies. To get a new one, sander, plow, everything brand new. And in turn, the two we have are 2018s. If I can get a brand new one to do the roads around town, we can ship the one we use now that's still in service and there's nothing wrong with it. It's a beautiful truck to the school. And that was one of my ideas. If we can get a new one for our fleet, we can give the old one to the school or sell outright or put on gov deals.
I think we were meeting with the schools who had talked about that.
The school's at a critical need for their dump truck. It is.
And this is a nice flatbed. This is a beautiful truck. I'm lucky if it's got 40,000 miles on it. We bought two of them, two 2019s, and not taking, I can't even say which one. It's between 15 and truck number 15 and 18. I can't tell you which one's bad and which one's good. There's nothing bad about either of them because they're still, if it doesn't work out, those trucks will stay in service and keep rolling. And
Lease on that particular truck is 14.5.
and the next one is an F-350 four-wheel drive with a plow with a utility body on the back of it to replace our 1996 truck, which was Leo's work truck, the red one. And that truck there would have a lift gate. We do need a lift gate. We have to have a lift gate to move equipment around and.
Only in 96.
Huh? Only, you wanna buy it? I gotta cut you a good deal. It would be perfect for the school in the parking lot, but, that's about where I'd leave it right there. They will be able to get a few good years out of it. And,
It's been nursed along for many years.
oh, yes, it's been out of service and parked in the back, that's it, it's gone. and then we needed it, and I put the money into it and got it back going again. There's been multiple transmissions, multiple rear ends in it, lots of work done to it.
13.4.
Yep. For the lease on that, yes.
Groundskeeper tractor.
That's the school.
Okay.
So this is the replace a 1986 Kubota. And I
Yes.
actually remember when they bought it.
College.
Not,
Definitely time.
but it's on its way out.
Okay. Paving.
This is a return to sort of where we wanted to be historically.
Yep.
Remember, we went down to 150 last year. So 750 this year. Municipal Property Repair Fund, starting where we started last year, I think we took 50,000 out of that, if I remember right. Reval, I refreshed that number with Paul, and it stays at 25. And I chatted with the guys from the Little League, and they came down to 5,000. They've been moving, as you guys know, through their plan at the complex, and that's why they, at this point, they were able to move this down. And I forget which field this was. It might have been the T-ball field. Was the plan for this one, but that is a new Little League number. I think they've been asking for 12. Yeah.
Joe, while you're here, and we got a couple seconds, we might as well talk about the ambulance building and the town hall parking lot.
Mhm.
You definitely have your hand in both of those things.
Mm-hmm.
Ambulance building, whether or not we use this building long term or short term. And I know you and I have had a couple conversations. The theory there is that we need to get the ambulance out of Thompson Hill Fire Station. We have overstayed our welcome dramatically. They were going to raise our rent again this year dramatically. And I have been negotiating with them to keep that fixed. But the relationship is that they need to operate as a firehouse and they don't have the space or the infrastructure as it stands. So that being said, that little alcove, if you look behind you, is partially vacant. There's a couple areas outside. It is my theory and thought that we can put an insulated, heated steel building, whether it be 1 bay or 2 bays. 2 bays, we put the emergency management vehicle in it. 1 bay, we just strictly put the ambulance in. And if the ambulance ever decides to vacate and go somewhere else, we can still use it for the emergency management thing. That large office right there, we can make into a bunk room, day room for them. And we have everything here on site to facilitate them, a kitchen and whatnot. Now you're probably thinking in your head, yep, it's gonna cost us 120. We're gonna keep the site work on house. So this resurface of the parking lot would kind of go hand in hand with this project. This fine gentleman here can do all the site work and pour a pad for this at dramatically under cost of what it would probably cost us to go out to bid. That being said, it's a low impact project. It really facilitates a need that we need to happen. Right now we're at 18,000. We were going to be at 24,000 as of a week ago, but we're still at 18,000 for yearly rent at Thompson Hill. The ROI on that alone for just keeping the ambulance here is that of 4 years ish. And I think it would solve a much bigger problem. So those kind of go hand in hand. We don't necessarily need to resurface the parking lot if we're going to do the building, but if we're already going to be here doing work and doing retrofits to the MS4 thing, they kind of make sense to go hand in hand. And I know we've been talking about resurfacing this parking lot for
a while,
for whatnot. And I know we have a couple pending grants for that too.
For that side there.
Yeah, for that side.
For that side, yep.
So pending if we get the grant for that side and this, that will kind of, everything will probably come together and make it a little cheaper and more efficient. So that's my thought there. I know that's kind of a big thing. Does anybody have any questions on that?
The one question I have. Not the person to answer this, but I'm kind of thinking about people are parking there and people are walking into the building. So this isn't a question I don't want to.
Sure. It's gonna be way overshot.
Attached here.
It would not be attached.
You gotta get up there.
You know what?
to have access to the back parking lot, no matter what you do on that side. And Connecticut Water has the right of way through.
No, they don't use it. It's a dead right away.
This is only gonna be like a 14 by 20 building. This is partially on the lawn that's there where the tree is and then partial parking spot. So it's not the impact of what it's gonna chew up for like available parking.
That's not where I was going.
Where are you
Where I
going?
was going was that it's not attached, but it's right here in gap or it's in
Yep.
front, and you get around the back.
Yeah, be a
There's
man door.
place that we have to do. Where my head was going was people walking into the building as an ambulance is firing up, gotta get the hell out of there. You just gotta think about it, the flow of people and the flow of other vehicles.
Yep.
I'm not saying it's unsolvable, it's something we should be thinking about if we're gonna put it here, because
And
it
it can be on the other side of the building too. I just assume that
might be interesting over there, it's quieter, right?
given the proximity to that room, and there are some options on the other side of the building through the hallway where there are what we call our file area that has files from 70 years ago that are non-applicable to anything.
And all those files went whittled through about 10 years ago.
Yeah, I whittled. There's stuff in there that,
We got rid of everything that we could.
yeah, I'm sure we could do that again.
10 years later.
There's stuff in there from the 60s.
There's a lot of
Yeah.
historical.
Yeah, and I'm all about historical preservation, but we have space in this building that's vacant, and we have a problem at hand. And I know a long term, like I would love to. I'll say this is on a caveat. I would love to build them a $500 to $1 million building. I just don't think that's feasible today, and we do have to solve a problem now. I know you and I had a bigger conversation about some available things, maybe 5 years down the road, realistically, 4 years. We cannot wait another 4 years with Thompson Hill. Like this needs to be addressed in the next 12 months.
How about at the garage?
What's that?
How about at the garage?
The problem with the garage, we don't have any type of living quarters. We don't have any type of, well, they need that.
I don't have any here either.
Right there we do.
We have a
Yeah.
building for
So.
heating.
Building, yeah, I
The
understand.
garage
Yeah.
doesn't need to be heated to.
Yeah, like they don't have like a shower. They don't have like like the kitchen. Like they're just, it's not. Yeah, the highway is not.
It's an important distinction, if you build this building here, it doesn't need to be heated like this building.
No, it'd have to keep per OEMS standards for an ambulance. It'd have to be heated to 60 degrees.
To 60.
It doesn't have to be air conditioned. To my knowledge,
I think it's a good idea, I'd explore it first.
it's basic. It's basic. It's
Solve the
functional.
Parking lot, it's been kicked down the road for at least the last 5 years. And there's big potholes there this year, so.
So originally I thought about like an overhang to tie it into the building, but that's more of a want versus a need. You know, I'm talking basic, 8-panel flat door, metal building, man door in the back, nothing, no drains, just pitched out.
When you worried about like access, the ambulance leaving that parking lot at the front where they just put in the water over there, you have it so they don't even access the parking lot. Like there'll be no people in front of them, they can access Route 12 right out of
The
it.
only reason why I thought this side, and this is just a thing to me, is access control and security within this building, where we would kind of almost be able to limit access
Sure.
to a wing of this building
It makes sense.
versus the entire building.
No, it's a good.
Just a thought, and that's not a deal breaker, but
Is there an opportunity to do this over where the quarter shelling mill is?
and that's a conversation that we had, and we need to have a bigger conversation with Robert.
Where the
Where
park
the park is, we own.
Yeah, but that park is with setbacks and everything. There is allegedly an acre of land there.
Where's that?
The park,
There's the bottom of two.
Oh, Park Street,
Where the-
Park Street,
where the
yep.
park is up Park Street.
Yeah.
You're saying we can't put it where the park is?
No, I just said that that's been there as a historical playground for that whole complex for.
Which
decades.
I don't-
But I would suggest moving the playground, not eliminating it. Get the, talk to the builder about it.
I think I had talked to Shira and John about it, and I think Cindy and the setbacks were a little concerned because obviously there's infrastructure that needs to be had on that thing. So applicable parking spots, and that's why the only reason why I had suggested here is because we have all the infrastructure, we have the septic, we have the water, we have the electric, we have the parking, we have the ADA compliance, we have the sewer, so You know,
You have a building already heating.
we are,
Alright.
yeah, which I'd love to, if there is a spot like you and I'd love to explore an option of a standalone site. But right now, when we're in the fiscal situation that we're in, everyone in this room knows that we're not gonna get 800 to $1 million in excess cash to just spend. Especially in the next 12 months. Like I know that's a want, I don't think it's realistic. You know, I think, I don't know, thoughts?
Well, it could be financed, but it's.
It could be bonded, yeah.
I think it's a good idea. I think it's a very good idea. There are a lot
Well,
of details.
We have to solve the problem.
Yeah, we do have to solve the problem, whichever way, you know.
And I think if we look through, a secondary usage, if we do ever get to the point where we want something different, we can afford something different, then.
And that's what I thought, like a secondary usage, because right now we have a beautiful emergency management vehicle that just sits outside. We have a fire marshal vehicle, we have an animal control vehicle. So it's like, we could totally use that space for something else. If this is the 4 to 5 year plan, where it's like, okay, we're gonna do this in the next calendar year, and it will get us through the next 5 until maybe that project comes and we can have a space over there, and then we can be in a better fiscal situation in 5 years, hopefully, to make a bigger purchase. But I think proof of concepts also, I don't know, for me is important.
What have you been drinking in the water?
The same thing everybody else has been drinking, unfortunately. But I don't know, just a thought. So
I think it's a good idea.
it's something, but I know after conversation, the Thompson Hill, and I've reached, like, I also thought like West would have been an option. I know you and I had talked about that, and I had spoken to them, but that building isn't nearly ready to house a 24/7 anything, and which would probably take the same amount of capital that we would have to invest here into. It wouldn't be in our building, so we'd again lose control and have to pay rent. Same thing goes for community. Quinnebog's too far out, East is too far out. Just my thought.
Yeah.
So.
We have to look at the overall picture of the impact of this facility with everything that we do here.
Incidentally, Ken would remember, I don't know if others at the table remember, that this building was the town garage.
Yes, I think there's a picture of it somewhere right around here.
In my time, when I was.
The bottom floor was the town garage.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, this area through here, or was a stable. This, before they did the barrel cement room.
Yeah.
Was, they did park a ladder truck for community.
Interesting.
That's why the fronts have the hard.
Yes.
Yeah, but that was the original town halls.
Maybe Rex office will make an ambulance bay. I don't know. Put them back here. You know. Kidding.
Okay, anything else?
No, that's all I got for tonight. Joe, do you have anything to add to that little project?
Nope.
Okay. All right. Motion for adjournment.
So moved, got it.
Thank you. Thank you for your time tonight, gentlemen.
Yeah, any more tomorrow?
More. Could be a short night tomorrow.
Done, we're over for tonight.
Yep. Capital's 90% done.
We didn't go over paving.
Well, we want to, other than mention going up to 750.
Going up.
Not going up. It needs to be existing.